Kaidaure sidi swingayat yadri sidi.
Predators for yourself gold and Fredrin. I don't know who. Okay, it's also a good choice.
Yeah, but the thing is, this Farsa is not super free now, is it? Going up against the Joy.
Yeah.
This is the natural predator for the Hottie Birdie, right? Like the Joy just smokes the Farsa.
Not to mention CC and Lapu-Lapu are still at large. Onicph could pick one of them and then ban the other. Come the second phase. And then what does Cramp pick then?
But then you got no crowd control actually for Onic Philippines if you take Lapu-Lapu. If you take okay, you got one stun. That's all.
Match 2 postita draw, guys.
They don't care. Okay. They'll just go on Farsha.
I mean, like a good crowd control is denying your opponent of the ult, so
yeah,
it's kind of amazing.
Or just putting them to sleep.
Yeah.
Just take them out of the map. Onicph, a good direction for them, in my opinion, would be to just take out Arlet and Phovius.
Yeah,
that's it. Or Arlet and CC. Deny the Arlet Fredrin combo.
Either ways, right now for Onic Philippines, I think it's not a hot take to say that they got a lot in this round. And you were talking about this, Leo, where Onic Philippines, they like being on red side, they like being on second pick. It looks like they're manipulating it well by understanding the Kalia is a hot pick for SRGOG, and they punished that.
I think actually the last pick for Onic Philippines should be CC. That's from my perspective, because otherwise it can be a good combination.
But they already have the Lapu.
Did you mean SRG?
I mean Onic Philippines should ban.
Oh, should ban CC.
Second Onicare, second mesto postita draw.
SRG, let's go for the mid lane. That's the option. Valentina, what can we also...
Valentina Loyi?
Valentina Loyi, yes, good bans.
Yeah, looks like they're going for the Louis first ban here. Are they going for Innocent again? Because I kind of feel like with this Kalia, we should be thinking
guys, first game,
Beatrix or Iritel.
Yeah.
Those are still solid picks left out there. I don't know if you want to hire it.
Beatrix better.
The first game, you don't want to hire it. There's way too much magic damage.
You're going all in. A single Athena shield and poof.
Also Beatrix, you can combine it with the Fredrin, Taunt, you can combine it with the Kalia. So engage and then the nuke damage instantly from your mage and from your... Okay, it's the Harif band even.
Yeah, still respecting the Harif because the Harif has a favorable matchup going up against the Joy. So again, probably they're readjusting their priorities, making sure that King Kong has a good game.
So they'll allow the Irithel.
Maybe Kara's just saying, like, do you really think he can counter me? Sometimes to be champions, you need that kind of mindset, you know?
If you're speaking about the gold lane, you actually counter the hero, but you don't counter the player. So you can still play from the back line, you can still be safe. Yeah, you're losing some gold XP, but you're coming back. And Iritel needs some time. Yes, Farsha gives you that time. Fredrin can give you that time. But still, we remember what happened with Kelra versus Joy.
Honestly, good ban here, banning out the Jushin, making it so that Onic Philippines, they can get that tempo. Because I kind of feel like this is Onic Philippines style. By controlling the game, the first 3 minutes, and then expand, don't stop.
Yeah, and again, that Jushin definitely answers the lack of CC. We were saying Onicph does not have reliable crowd control. The CC provides that in spades. You spend 2 seconds too long underneath her beacons and suddenly you're knee deep in Onicph's lineup. What are they picking red for? Again, still no mid laner and still no jungler, still no roamer for the super fam.
Let's go, Badang. What do you think about it?
Badang is good.
Badang or Cho.
Yeah.
Or Gatot. Gatot's good too, especially against the Farsa.
Yep, and there you go. You pick up the guy.
Onic na Joy
It looks like they already have a lot of answers for the problems that SRGOG has.
And 2 picks for SRGOG. So the priority for the gold lane, that's the most thing that interesting me. I would prefer to see the Beatrix. Actually, I like the composition. I like it with Farsha, I like it with Kalea, I like it with Fredrin. And for For the explain, I would like to prefer CC still. I like this pick.
Yep, still a lot available. Even the glue is available if SRGOG wants to go that route, because that does seem like one of Cram's comfort as well. Still a lot of picks for SRGOG, especially on the EXP.
Scary if you glue though, because the fire mist is still open.
That's true. So they pick up the CC instead. So will this be the Beatrix or the Irithel? It looks like they go for a Bruno. Not in my bingo books for this one.
Yeah, no, because the Beatrix was way too spelled out. So was the Irithel, because again, SRG knows that the Irithel just suddenly dies to the Granger and the Joy. So they go Bruno. It's a almost forgotten hero.
It's most, you know, it's more safe pick, but I don't like it. I understand that on lane it's harder for you to play as Beatrix, yes, but overall, if you go to the mid lane, it's much more profitable.
I like that both teams, they're kind of like saying each other, let's play tempo. Let's see who has their foot on the gas first and who can accelerate without the brakes. So now, Onic Philippines final pick here for their mid laner. A lot is still open. It looks like they're gonna pick up the Eve instead. So a lot of zoning here by both mid laners.
So far, 100% win rate on the Eve for the black and yellow. Onic has also found success in this by putting it in the hands of San. So, you know what? Onic PH, they got momentum. I like it. They got a kill box going for them.
I would like to say that I also like the Onic PH draft more than SRG OG. Sorry, Bruno, I don't like you.
Thank you very much for our analyst for the breakdown of the draft. And right now, for game number 3, we're going to throw it over to Brigida and Mirko.
Thank you so much. A bit of opinions here and there in terms of which they prefer and not, but now only these two teams can get to decide which works best. They've equalized the series, and we're heading into a best of 3 to finally find out who's coming out of this. Welcome to game number 3 between Onic PH and SRGOG Esports. That was a very fun draft to watch.
It was really fun, just, you know, predicting the drafts as well, because it really just comes down
Onic
to what you know of these players, right? Like, what are their comfort picks? Onic Philippines responded to the heavy assassin ban by banning out their own assassin, setting up for the Joy. It was amazing to watch a draft, and now we get to see a battle for match point. Whoever wins here, ladies and gentlemen, will be able to secure match point. A bit of safety in the single elimination bracket.
Yep. And they also bring back the Bruno, who again, in terms of like history and what we know of SRG was also there during that time. And the Bruno was just popping off, especially back in M6, but you could say the same for Onic PH, and they were even the first ones to pull out one of the most unorthodox ways to answer back against the Bruno, which was, if you guys would recall, the Layla, even back in M6, but now they're playing up against it again in this kind of situation where SRG OG are forced to bring out the utility junglers again, but this time around, with a Farce in the mid lane, we could potentially be expecting them to play this a bit more better. There could be a lot more space created since they have a bit more of burst damage coming in for the early stages of the game. But looking at the emblems, yep, it seems pretty standard for majority of the heroes here, but wait.
That's good info. King Kong here. Stormy's still saving the flicker, and Kong doesn't get the electrifying beat. Sky's walking up now over to Prince. We'll get the poke down, and yeah. It does seem like for Onic Philippines, they got what they wanted for, right? Like what they went for, sorry. Hayabusa ban, they really wanted the Joy. But even though we've been saying no utility, the Friction is a great counter to the Joy.
Yeah. Just a well-timed energy eruption. It's gonna make a huge difference for the team fight, but the unbreakable and the bravest fighter.
King Kong! Lâu đĩa King Kong đi ra vui và
over the curtain call, lock it down. Tries his best to deal damage. Now the feathered airstrike with a flicker 2 doesn't actually land that additional movement speed for the Purify, helping Prince to get out.
Oh my goodness, that timings. Brusco, I'm surprised he survived for that long in that entire fight where he was just up front in the faces of the members of SRG OG, and just that constant enhanced basic attack kept him alive even though he should have died way back. And even that bravest fighter from Kirk, and Super Friends in that positioning with the real-world manipulation, just making sure everyone was right at the edge. So it's probably also why it took a bit more time for SRG to reach Super Friends to make things a bit more difficult for him. And mind you, that Purify might come in a lot more sooner because he is once again on the pull yourself together. So that's how Super Prince potentially is planning to keep himself safe. Again and again, he can just rely on the Purify either to get out, to keep the stuns out from Stormy, from Yums, and that's one of the biggest answers again to the entire idea that SRG OG has in terms of their lineup.
Yeah, it's again, they have a ton of damage. Despite the utility jungle, we've gone through this already. They already have a CC. They have a Farsa and a Bruno too here. I think it would have been a bit too risky for them to go for the Beatrix. Even though, yeah, we were talking about the Beatrix possibility too, the instant burst down that we saw up against RRQ by SRG yesterday when the Kalea went for any Tsunami Slam, really, on anyone. Right now, Onic Philippines really need to get space for King Kong. That's what they need to do in the neutral objective battles, right? Because we saw earlier when King Kong had to just brute force his way into the fight, he gets chain CC'd way too easily by the Fredrin, CC, Kalea, even the Farsa.
And that's probably the idea too why Onicph decided to go for this draft, because in terms of team fights, that's a lot of space you can create with the AOG, with the real world manipulation, and of course just the bravest fighter being casted every now and then by Kirk. Oh, but Super Prince, they find a way to access him.
Yeah, great damage now onto Brusco too. Popping Revitalize already. And it's not actually going to help Super Prince to get back to full.
No.
Yeah, they have to concede this one. That's free for Selangor Red Giants OG Esports. And hey, with that setup, there was absolutely no way Onic Philippines could brute force the Turtle without losing members.
So that could be the best way to go for SRG OG. That was a perfect call prior an objective to heavily poke a member who is a crucial part in how the team fights are going to unfold. And they went for Super Friends. So they had to rely on a potential team fight without the real world manipulation if it went down to it. And so now, Onicph clearly the back foot, they're the ones reacting to how SRG OG is being more decisive in terms of the rotation than Kellera can't even do much. They will have to let go of that turret.
Beautifully done by SRG. Oh, King Kong gets away.
Second match gitu so semai tarom pada kita tahu na Onic na chance tarom kiban niko.
But yeah,
second match gitu so.
Especially with the Bruno, you really want to play the strong side over the Bruno. So the fact that they got two turtles, plus they were able to rotate down below, ending the laning phase ASAP, means that Kellera really can't abuse the Granger laning phase anymore.
Yeah.
Puts Bruno, Innocent, in a very good spot.
We've been talking about space, but Onicph, hopefully that space doesn't get limited to the team fights, because when they get shut down, then things are not looking too good for them anymore. SRG OG, clearly with the utility jungler, are making it work, unlike the first two games we've seen so far in this series. This is how you literally capitalize on the idea of a utility jungler, because you have a strong lane in the gold lane, you have a mid laner who could definitely help you in terms of creating that space, and better yet, even supplying the damage, which is why Onicph feel a bit more hesitant in terms of going in, because Stormy and Yums, their combo is just too good. And now they're gonna go after King Kong. Ooh, energy eruption!
Second match tu so, kanu ni ba? As! Blowing one na ni.
Over to the minion wave. Actually, that was just one minion. Rest in peace, minion.
That was, I think, two? Or maybe, yeah, that they could leave the lane alone. Purify already used by Super Prince, still gets caught though!
Yeah, an early Purify from Prince gives Yums easy access to get Tsunami slamming. That was uncharacteristic for sure. Selangor Red Giants, they're capitalizing on every small mistake that Onic Philippines make on the map, and now it's a free turret in the mid lane.
This doesn't feel too calm and collected. Wait, Kirk goes in alone?
Yeah, chain CC'd again. Kirk, oh my lord, so much damage! Even with the Revitalize, they go through it all, and Innocent is just balling his way to 2 kills.
Unnecessary damage,
right? There's Brusco, who's also coming in, so that's probably why he was a bit encouraged. Oh, but wait! Close call. Close call for King Kong, but he still gets to escape. And yeah, you would have thought that Kirk went in alone, but it wasn't entirely the case. There was Brusco too, but was it still the right decision to go in, knowing that it was just the two of them? Because there wasn't any damage. And SRG had plenty of damage. I mean, look at this 2k gold lead.
Yeah.
Already in the hands of Innocent on the Bruno. So whoever Yums decides to go for, and that setup earlier onto Super Friends was just 2-3, you know, but whoever he decides to go for from this point onwards, you could expect the damage to come through from Innocent, to come through from Stormy.
It's just too tough right now for Onic Philippines. Like Salahwa Giants. 3 kills on Stormy. That's the only possible counter they can get. Again, he can just play far back. He has a flicker too, and mainly I think what makes the backline so safe is the amazing front line that they didn't actually have in game number 2, right? Like game number 2, yes, they had Skies on a Baksha, but Onic Philippines just got online so early. Now that SRG got 3 turtles, even just with that, without the gold lead, they should be in a proper spot to actually hold down Onic Philippines' damage. But with the 6,000 gold lead, Onic Philippines might have to just wait for, what, 15, 16 minutes of game time before they can actually shred down Skies.
There's no threat of burst damage just yet from Onic BH. They're, as you said, literally waiting. And now you see SRG, OG, they just bounced back in this series. They're showing us a performance that's not too far from what we've seen in the previous year when they took the championship in MSC 2024 for themselves. Now they're doing this to the reigning world champions. And if they're able to actually get match point, that puts them one step closer to getting a shot at defending that title. Now Onic BH clearly have to find a way to work around this. That's a fortunate enough to work on that sidestep, but now he doesn't have the Purify.
No, he does not. Holy shield in the mid lane, they be popped open again, and there's just no damage, not even to Kram, who isn't the main frontliner. Man's able to sustain. Prince is a level down on Stormy. The only advantage, if you can even call it that they got was, alright, Stormy used Flick, so a bit more vulnerable. But even then, he doesn't really need Flick. He's been able to utilize it to go and dive. That's a free turret down below. Innocent picking it up now. RWM and the Bravest Fighter as well. Double kill. One off from a hat trick.
The closest and probably the best target for King Kong in that situation was Stormy, because you said it there.
There's a hat trick, and they're gonna go for the end. 10 minutes in, Onic Philippines have no way to react. They will be forced back in their base. Hey, MSC 2024, they did it. MSC 2025. At this point, Riyadh looks a whole lot like Selangor.
He gave no time to us, to Onic, to regroup, to reset. And they just went after it, after that one miscalculated play coming in from Onic BH. And as we've mentioned, they could have gotten a kill, they could have punished the lack of flickers that Stormy clearly did not have in that moment, but he just flew on top of that stone that was right there. And no one was able to get access to Stormy, and no one died from SRG OG, so it was just so easy for them, especially considering that Innocent was untouched. He was clearly untouched in this game and in that particular team fight. So whenever you look back at what happened in that game, this is the definition of how you make a utility work, of how you make the entire idea of this lineup work. And this was the final clash. Now I feel like the panel has a lot more to say in terms of what happened in this fight, so let's head back over to our panel.
And this is why, in my eyes, I don't like utility junglers unless they're Fredrin, alright? He's the face of utility junglers. He's the daddy in the jungle, man. Like, Fredrin makes it work. And I gotta say, very good performance, and maybe this is how you just gotta win out that battle. If you have utility in your mind, only Fredrin.
Fredrin was so good, but I also want to mention about the Stormy. You know, he made so much pressure all over the map, and he just won mid. He just won mid, and the triple of SRG OG, they could do everything they want. Let's go bottom, let's go top side, okay, let's go take turtle, no problems, nobody gonna disturb us. And that's the thing when you play the second tempo. And okay, I was worried about Bruno, but actually I would like to say that gold lane mean nothing. Well, I mean, they did nothing in that game, not like I'm trying to underestimate their efforts, but overall, if we speak about the game, the trio won the game.
It's not that it didn't do nothing. Gold was just there to make that advantage that SRG got very early on all the more unsurmountable for Onic PH. I hate how I talked about these fundamentals, these principles, these must-dos for both teams, and then at the end of the draft for Game 3 say, yeah, I like Onic PH now, when they were clearly lacking in burst. Yes, there is burst when the Joy does find soft targets. That sit still, but SRG did not allow for that. SRG had the better initiation tools even. You mentioned the mid trio, the Kalia, the Fred, and the Farsa. Those three things can just run around after the second turtle and call shots. This is SRG just fundamentally understanding the assignment, while Onic kind of strayed away again. Like game 1 and 2 never happened.
So right now, like again, we just got to go back to the law of the draft, at least for this series. Number one, first pick seems to look pretty good. And number two, early picking your EXP later does make it so that you know how to deal with it. But the other thing is controlling tempo. Who puts their foot on the gas first and refuses to press the brakes looks like has an advantage in this series.
More nuke damage. You know, the more
first game to happy
yes, constant damage, but still it's not like in the early game. Oh my, what a numbers.
Dude, I thought it would be either the Bruno or the Farsa. I was like, CC does a lot of damage.
I actually predicted that the instant should be again,
or they give fight unnecessary to fight kind of low they get turtle secure to bongam gitaba aduna goal difference lakpa they give me 5 matamna kanona SRG ne helakpa.
Cram's effort, again, amazing athlete, team captain for SRGOG, but also the hero itself. CC is just so capable of dishing out this much damage, and again, this is a byproduct of the lineup that Onic PH drafted. They're a lineup that likes to fight for a while under their kill box, under the real world manipulation. If that is what Onic PH wanted to do, SRGOG, all they wanted to say was, okay, I guess that means you get to sit under my yo-yos a little longer, and we end up with a 10.5 minute game.
MLBB logic, bring yo-yos to a sword fight. You'll win for some reason. But right now we're going to give time for both teams to really think about their draft coming into game number 4, because again, it looks like the draft is everything. We're going for a short break. After this, we will resume the semifinals.
Volume later thong cái gì chứ cái nó tông nó vợ mà thà đi xài he cái này analyze tàu bao rồi cái analyze tàu bao rồi chứ cái này cái camera chỉnh chỉnh đôi nhiều ở đây cái này tông ngầm được rồi. Con người wow đang chali salah cái gì đâu rồi gì reload Onic mà dù lady don't worry Onic sẽ một final để thành đến number 1 này đó. Duni face game ji yaad rahe hai ba na do face game ju pai lai tre nei je ke to stream ji joi muthaning draba chem ji yaad ram ni na is guys. Copy. Remote control. Control B. How to use. तो यादेव DSLR dei toro da si yausala nuni ne matha am sare ha basidi si kai do doi no ibo sida si reload tore stream putpa muthat pa jai tallen tawni ni Leramo guys, hanag tayo yan naman tang siyama ge ko